Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada. The engineer with me is Mr. Lady Ada. We also have some rubber snakes. We're on air, doing this thing. This is here. Here's this. Got an exciting show for you tonight with all sorts of new products, news, videos, announcements, some really cool images, and it's not out yet.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off. What's on tonight's show,
No
Mr.
matter
Lady Ada?
where you've been or where you're going, right now you're here.
We're here with us.
Okay, tonight
Thanks.
the code is Code Community. Use the code Code Community on checkout, 10% off in the Adafruit store. Everything but gift certificates and AdaBox. It supports us, an open source hardware company, a manufacturer in New York City. That's what we do. No loans, no venture capital. Every order counts. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for supporting us.
Show and tell. People around the world showing, sharing projects. Lady Ada will go over those. Packed Mailbag's going to stop by and read your letters to us. Time travel, look around the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers on news this week. Factory footage made in New York. We're going to play some videos. Some Internet of Things news. Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, is going to tell you all about it. 3D printing. A little bit of Raspberry Pi stuff. New products. Answer your questions. Have top secret. We'll give away something. All that and more on... You guessed it. It's Ask an Engineer.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, don't forget, it's Code Community. This is Ask an Engineer every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Show and tell, we just did it every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on checkout. If you're in New York City before 11 a.m., you can get same-day delivery. We have free stuff. So free stuff is interesting because the more you put in your cart, the more free stuff you get. We got a trinket. We got a Gemma, we got a Circuit Playground, we got Perm Proto, and free UPS ground shipping, $200 or more.
Very exciting. And those come with CircuitPython. So if you've been ever interested in experimenting with CircuitPython, the Trinket M0, Gemma M0, and Circuit Playground Express are all CircuitPython ready. Or you can use them with Arduino, either one.
Yeah, and this costs us money because we're giving away free stuff, but we figure, you know, a lot of companies, they'll subsidize like shipping, or they'll do something bonkers, or like they'll do a Super Bowl ad. Not us. We're going to give away free hardware
back to the community
when you order, so you'll be able to do more stuff with it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Other things. We have DHL on checkout now. Don't forget that. We have a few places: Canada, UK, Germany, France, Belgium, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, and Spain. And we have more options for UPS now. And we added postal to some states. that we normally only had UPS. More options. More options. More than ever.
More.
Okay.
Not less, more.
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 All right, Lady Ada, show and tell. People around the world sharing projects.
We had a bunch
on the show this week.
We had 12 people. It was awesome. Started off with JP from Adafruit West, John Park, who has been kicking it with Circuit Playground Express projects. He showed off his Circuit Playground Express drum machine. He had some cowbell, some snare, some hand clap, and he's going to be working on some sort of UFO-related project. Unidentified 3D printed objects. Tomorrow, check out his live stream. He does the desk.
3DFO.
3DFO. All that and more on his show tomorrow. He does a live stream, and you can see what he's working on as he's working on it. It's unscripted. Known Pedro made a fun and very, very easy Circuit Playground Express project this week. If you have a glowing skull that you can pick up from Target or Walmart, Kmart, you can add Circuit Playground Express to create a glowing skull, and also how to add like a little misting add-on to mist it up. So that's kind of a cool project. Check that out if you would like to build some last-minute Halloween props. Erin is also working on a costume, and she got an Eye of Newt coming soon. It's a necklace with a newt eyeball that moves around. It's we love the teensy eyeball projects. And this is yet another one, which is very creepy. Scott showed off CircuitPython 3.0 Alpha, which is super alpha, but it's in GitHub, and it's running on a Metro M4, so a SAMD51 chip, high-speed Cortex M4 running CircuitPython. We've got USB and mass storage working, so we're getting there. Now we have to do the work, but we got a bunch of work done, so very good news on that front. Scott, you deserve a nap.
We did a bunch of work to get a bunch of work that we got to do.
Yeah. He stayed up all night working on it. He worked really hard. Because once you're in it, you can't stop. You've got all the codes in your head. And then Dan talked about this today's CircuitPython 2.1 announcement release. We released 2.1, which adds a lot of stuff. Most importantly, but not leastly, CircuitPython now supports PWM on the Trinket and Gemma M0, so you can use servos, PWM LEDs, DHT22, infrared, and more. So it unlocks pretty much everything that you'd want to use the Trinket and Gemma. We'll talk about that a little bit. Tony D had 3 Halloween projects: an evil doll that in the dark says evil things, using a Circuit Playground Express, evil candy. When you open up the candy box, it screams at you. Very evil. And a retro sprite jewelry that he'll be wearing to a RetroCon at local to him. So they had little Nintendo sprites, and they were animated, and it's like parsing PPM. So
these are fun things you can do, and it's all year. It doesn't just have to be Halloween. It
doesn't have to be all Halloween, but boy, isn't Halloween the best time of the year?
Yeah.
1 month, all Halloween.
Yep.
Blitz City also had a Halloween project, a Stranger Things alphabet wall that sends little messages using CircuitPython. So she's trying that out, and there's going to be a Hackster guide soon. And then Virgil came back with the evil candy jar. He works on this every year, 4 years running. This year, he's using a feather with a music maker. So he's gone from using an Uno and a wave shield to a feather and a music maker. Maybe soon, maybe even CircuitPython. So I like it, like going back to the same project, redoing it year after year, and improving and making it better.
It's more fun when more platforms, and specifically, I'm going to refer to CircuitPython. So I have some old Arduino projects that were kind of tangly and complicated, and the IDE change and everything. So I'm looking forward to changing those over to CircuitPython, because then the code is on the device.
Yeah.
I can just edit in a text file anytime. I don't have to download anything years from now. And I don't even need a computer, really. I could use my Android tablet and on-the-go cable. I just like the idea of redoing a project. It's I remember how I did it last time. See how much easier, faster, better it is this time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Vignesh had a really cool tilt control robot with a hand control that when you tilt it, the car goes forward and back and turns. So it's kind of neat because it's very intuitive. You just twist your hand. Coding Pro had a pinball machine score counter with some really sweet custom fonts on the LCD. It's a nice Arduino project. Adam has a new scanning electron microscope, double the scanning electron microscopes, and while picking up the scanning electron microscope, which he talked about, the ordeal, he also chatted about how he fixed another transmission microscope that they had. So good deeds all around. He just fixed it. He's like, oh yeah, here, this is the problem, and they fixed it, and that's going to be up and running maybe. So it's good to go and fix old electron microscopes.
I heard the LHC is going to ship them the big.
You should just go there. Yeah, you got to start
put a garage on top of it.
Big stuff.
Yeah.
And then C-Scott has a Decker drum kit with a ring modulator. This SEM series, not the scanner electron microscope, but SEM series chips has been rebooted. So people who are making synthesizers who really like the SEM series, I guess it's a VCO or VCF chip, or VCA chip, can now use them. I guess some company in Latvia is making it. All sorts of cool maker news. That's it. We had a lot of people. Thanks for sticking with me as I got through the list. All
participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com. If you're a kid, make sure you have parents. Email us. That's important. Okay, part of our Adafruit live series of shows, we are doing a bunch of stuff on Discord. That is where the chat is right now. That's where you should go. And if you're wondering what the URL is, you can just memorize it, adafruit.it/Discord. And big news in the world of Discord, we hit 2,000 community members. That was fast. Whew!
It's a lot.
Yeah, 2,000 people.
I'm on there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm there every day.
Discord, it's the Adafruit server. Discord, you're not going to get banned or blocked or anything on the Adafruit Discord server.
Well, unless
some people worry about that. They're online and they can't get into their social media accounts. That'll never happen. That'll never happen on Discord to you.
As long as
you run it. I mean,
well, like as long as people act professionally.
Yeah, but you're always allowed there.
I'm always allowed there. Yes.
It's the Adafruit server. Isn't that nice?
Yes. They can't kick me off because I'm they.
Yeah.
They is me.
Yeah. So, thank you everyone in the Discord chat for making it a great place. It's one of the only places you like to hang out online with live chat. Yeah.
I've been hanging out a lot in the CircuitPython chat, also the general chat, doing a lot of coding in CircuitPython and debugging, and people are chatting and helping each other. And I'm having people help me test things like infrared. Because I only have like 3 remotes at home, so I'm like, hey, try this remote you have and see if it works.
And one other thing, so we decided that we're going to show products that aren't out yet at all, but we're only going to show them in Discord. So if you're in the general channel and you see me with Miku and leaks, because that's leaks.
Leaky.
That's when leaks are about to happen.
Miku leaks. Yeah. That's better than WikiLeaks, which is not even a wiki.
No, Miku's way better than Julian.
Totally.
Okay, let's go to the next thing here. Okay, JP has a video preview of his live stream. Let's watch it. All right, JP on the drums. Okay, so we are doing a lot of stuff with CircuitPython, Lady Ada. There's a new release.
Big releases.
There's a lot of stuff. I have the new release text.
Yes.
So you could just look at it real fast and then we'll pop back. Cause
I
don't have a picture of us.
That's fine. Yeah. I kind of know most of it also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, go back.
Yeah, do you remember what it was?
Yeah, because this is the thanks.
Yeah, because I had this thing.
This is all the greets. Thanks to all these people for helping us with this.
Everybody, scrolling list of credits. Okay, so what's the latest with CircuitPython?
Okay, so we released 2.1, which is a really big improvement. What's really neat is some people are like, oh, is 2.1 going to be like slower and have less? And it's like, no, it's actually faster and has more. So a lot of things happened. We have a couple analog digital bugs that I saw that got fixed. A couple libraries got tweaked as well, just some bug fixes and stuff. Capacitive touch. The trigger threshold is now adjustable. You can also get the raw value from the capacitive touch hardware, which is great if you're doing like proximity sensors. We moved the math library from libm to a slightly slimmer memory math library that doesn't have double support, which we don't use anyways. And the cool thing is that we saved 7,000 bytes of memory. That's Dan Halbert's investigative reporting, uncovered it. And because of that, we freed up so much memory in the Trinket and Gemma builds that we are now able to put Pulse IO into Trinket and Gemma. It's one of the things that was missing from CircuitPython until now. The Trinket M0 and Gemma M0 now have PWM support, which is really useful. So they can now do servos, DHT22 sensors and such, infrared, and servos. So anything that has pulses, output or input, or PWM output or input, you can now do with the Gemma and Trinket, which is a really big deal. Also, some frozen modules for Circuit Playground Express, and a couple other small things. The big thing is the Pulse IO. So now, pretty much, basically every project that you could do with an original Trinket and Gemma can now be done in CircuitPython. There's no, and even more so even. So that's really good news for everybody. And I'm not going to deprecate discontinue the Trinket and Gemma or Classic, but I won't discontinue them. We'll still have them, but I'm going to deprecate them. So we're going to basically say, hey, we don't recommend this anymore. Please pick up the M0.
Yeah, we'll have some. Maybe people did projects and are not going to redo them, and they just need like a replacement or something.
Yeah, but we're going to say people, hey, look, just please don't. Please don't pick these up.
Yeah.
Because
we have resellers and partners who are like, hey, there's two different versions. When is one going to end? Can you end it tomorrow? And it's like, we can't end it tomorrow, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But I want to move everybody basically to the Trinket M0 and Gemma M0 because, you basically just get so much more capability and CircuitPython functioning.
Yeah, you can run any of the things.
And, if you're running a modern computer, sometimes USB is flaky if you have a Trinket and Gemma original. So this solves that problem because it has true USB on it.
Okay.
Super cool.
Next up, if you're wondering about how to make stuff with Python, Tony D has his World Maker Faire talk, but this is a standalone version of just the talk and him, not from the event, but him at home saying, like, here's all the stuff. We based our presentation, it was called Python Snakes Its Way to Hardware, that we did at the Kickstarter event that was an Ignite event. And it's a little bit of like why Python. Here's all Python on microcontrollers, CircuitPython resources, and more. So check this out. This is kind of the video to watch first.
Okay.
We have some MakeCode news. So MakeCode is today in particular. There was schools and they were periscoping, which is live video on Twitter. Kids instantly coding.
Oh, neat.
They were plugging in the Circuit Playground Expresses, firing up makecode.adafruit.com, and then if you've seen the interface, you just drag and drop little blocks around.
There's a simulator, there's drag and drop, so it's really good for beginners because they can simulate it.
Yeah, no software installed. That's why it was so fast. Like you see a kid, they sit down, they plug it in, they start doing something blinking, and then they're all working together. It's not just like, well, I'm going to wait for the software download, and then like, let me wait till the firmware goes in. It's actually really fast. So, attention spans of young folks, they got other stuff to do.
No, they've got businesses and their CTOs.
Yeah, so here is one of the teachers took a photo. You could see they're getting ready to use makecode.adafruit.com. And one of the things when we talk to educators is they said, hey, like we got like Windows 7 laptops like a couple of years ago, and that's it for 5 years.
No, they're stuck.
They're stuck.
They can't have a budget from computers.
And so pretty much all they could do is maybe use a web interface and maybe plug something in via USB. Can't solder, can't do that in the classrooms really, and so they needed something that's like $20-ish and could just use Windows 7 straight up out of the box essentially. And the systems are pretty locked down, so it has to work well on Windows, and it has to just be something very simple, and it just has to work.
Yeah. So
that's neat to see. We're getting lots of photos, and if you're an educator, drop us a note. We're trying to get some Circuit Playground Expresses to educators. Okay, mailbag.
Beep boop.
Yeah. So we read these letters to the entire company. This one's the most recent one, so we just put it on the blog. So remember when you did that Hack MIT thing? Well, they sent a really nice note. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's on the blog right now. But it was the people who organized the event. They really liked this one part that you said. I'll always remember the question about how to deal with being a woman in tech, and your perfect answer is, you just kicked her ass. So I know this is a kid's show. That's perfectly fine to say. But I thought that was neat because that's one of the questions you get a lot. Is like, what is it like being a woman in tech? You kind of just have to go and kick some stuff.
But
you can't. Yeah, we don't we don't really make victims at Adafruit. It's the one product we don't make. So I like that you're
Make sensors.
we make sensors. I like that you're out there, and I think you have to be.
Yeah.
I think everyone does. I think you just need a good community, a good group of people around you to have the confidence to just be like, you know what, we're doing this thing. So that was cool. You can leave us a message if you want with our phone. Home bit stab. We use this phone at the end of the show to give away something.
But you can also leave a message when it's not on.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll play it.
All right, next up, time travel. Look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers. There's just news. This is Newsweek. So I tweeted about this. We're going to stock this soon. This is the animated LEDs. This is the project that everyone's watching on Twitter. We're going to stock the book soon. But
This
check
is so
it out.
cool.
Yeah. If someone can put in the chat the exact, I don't want to mess up the Twitter handle, but you'll be able to see the...
Yeah, Camus cosplay.
Yeah, it's like Camus cosplay or something like that. Anyways, chat room. That's because if I mess it up, it'll go
I
the
know,
wrong
it's
Twitter thing, and then all of a sudden,
tragic.
you know, you're...
Who knows?
You don't want to mess up on Twitter
No,
now.
no,
If you
no,
go,
no.
you can see the wrong thing, and then
Bad.
it's over for you.
Yep.
Okay. We did a Kickstarter event. This is what it looks like.
This is me getting ready.
Yeah, we had all this giant stuff. We gave away 50 Circuit Playground Expresses. We did a talk. We saw our friend Kip, and it was a neat event. I took some drone footage, but it's kind of an event where there's...
It's me and Kip.
Yeah, there's people there that you don't really... It's a little bit of a private event. It's like a food camp style event. So there's folks there. It's like, hey, like, you know, not here on record or anything. So what I did is this is just a picture of Kip, because Kip says it's okay.
Kip was totally cool with it.
Yeah, and Kip made a chiller that made ice cream right there.
Instant ice cream.
Yeah, very low voltage chiller.
Low voltage.
It's cool.
Very cold.
Literally cool.
Cool.
Keeping it cool. Yeah. And then Sophie from Supply Frame and Hackaday gave me a Hackaday pin, which is now
so cool.
Which is now part of my prized possessions. I only have like 2.
Yeah,
so that's
no,
my next pin.
You
and
took
that's
mine.
That's the Hackaday pin. And what's neat is like I made the logo when I started Hackaday. And this is really special, so thanks Sophie.
I like it. It's cute.
Yeah, and speaking of Hackaday, these are community-made ads. We're running ads on Hackaday soon. Code Plus Community. We developed these ads in the Circuit Python chat. We're like, here's some ideas. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll talk about the hardware. Maybe we'll do some specs. And someone put this big paragraph about like how they got into electronics. And it's like, Circuit Python, you get community with this code. You don't just get the code, you get the community. So we made ads based on that. So I think this is like one of the first community-created set of ads. So if anyone wants these, if they have a blog, I'll send them to you. I'll just send a link so we can see where the people are clicking. But these will be on Hackaday soon. Boop.
Sweet.
Okay. CS for All is going on right now. It's a giant event. You did a little bit of a cameo. And one thing, it's like 12 hours of live video. And I have a blog post about this. Scrub through, and if you're into like teaching electronics hardware, Microbit's there. A bunch of people were there. Excellent talks. If you're an educator, worth it. You know, watch a couple hours. Then watch a couple hours. It's better than like Netflix or whatever. But you did a little greeting for all the kids and everyone there. Megan Smith, the former CTO of the U.S., who we had here when she was the CTO of the U.S. She was there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's watch this little video.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, and I'm here at my factory where I use all the computer science that I know to build wonderful things like robots and eyeballs and glowing costumes and cosplay and have a really good time. That's what computer science is all about. It's not just typing, it's building, it's making, it's being creative. And so no matter what your interests are, whether it's biology, medicine, creativity, costuming, theater, computer science is going to help you out. So that's why I think computer science is pretty cool. And I'm so excited to be doing this video for CS for All.
Okay, also this is more company news at Adafruit. So Puerto Rico's devastated. That's the most direct way to say it. And a lot of people at the company wanted to do something, so we collected supplies and more, and we have pallets and pallet jacks. There's drop-off places in New York, and that's what we did. So I think one of the things that can happen now with disasters, because they're going to happen, I think a lot of individuals are going to do a lot, people want to do a lot, and getting these supplies are really important. So New York has a special site where it says, here's where you can bring all this stuff. So check out your local government, state, local, and see what you can do. There are specific supplies they needed. We have 116 people, so we were able to to give a lot.
Yeah.
So I did a blog post on that, so folks can see that. Mostly just to get information for them in their local areas. Okay, in other news, because I got to mention it because I didn't hear it today. So that was your Facebook profile. You kept getting locked out.
Yeah, I was like 7, 8 times.
Yeah.
I kept
It kept asking to upload more photos of yourself.
which I did.
And it was getting a little weird. Like, I want another photo, another photo. Then what happened after that was kind of weird. And one of the things we want to run the Circuit Python ads on Facebook.
Yeah, but you need an account.
You want to manage the Facebook page.
Yeah.
All this stuff. So
I don't actually want to be on Facebook.
No, we just want to use it as a
to.
place. Yeah. So so what happened today was in the last 24 hours or so. So you kept getting locked out, couldn't log in. Then it says content's not available. Then the page completely disappeared. There's no way. No, it just got worse and worse. And then it let you in. And then I'm like, okay, I'll take screenshots for you. And there's no way to communicate with Facebook. Like, we knew some folks who emailed. I know they can never contact anyone. So it's always like murky.
Yeah.
No one ever knows why their account's banned, why stuff is happening.
There's no phone number. You can't like ask a question.
No, try to find a way to contact.
It's
them.
like, oh, you want to contact? Oh, you need to log into your Facebook account.
No, it says use Facebook. So
that's so true.
So one of the things that it's important to us is we want to make sure people know what Adafruit's up to. Some people are on Facebook. So anyways, as of like right before we got on the show, you were able to log in, but this has happened before. We'll see.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Here's one thing. I think folks are like, oh, like, because I posted last time, like, Facebook was built on the idea that you're going to get your privacy violated. So
that's what the part and parcel.
Yeah, and like, Mark Zuckerberg is a public person, and all the things that he was doing with Facebook are public because there's like so many lawsuits. And so it's built on like, haha, I'm gonna like put animal faces on people because they're ugly. Haha, like why did people give you all these?
No, he's a jerk.
Well, one of the things is like, oh, how do you get all this information? Like, well, they trust me, they're dumb. So I think this is one of those times where you as a high profile person could show like, hey, like this isn't really good. The way this has happened is not good. Elections can change because of Facebook stuff. Fake accounts could be generated by the thousands and can maybe even influence a vote. We'll see what happens with that investigation. But a real person like you, this happened on Google+. You made an account, then they got rid of it. And I've been around you for like 10 years. I don't know what it is about you, but I think it's because you're so different than what this algorithm thinks is real.
Yeah.
That it's just like, well, we don't want you. It always feels like they don't want you. So it's hard when you're doing talks, I think, to especially young girls, like, hey, do computer science, do all this stuff. Oh yeah, like, and you're gonna get your Facebook account deleted, and there's no way to interact with these companies. Anyways, Twitter just decided to do like a council for stuff, and I think they're moving in that direction because there's accolades and also criticisms on how these social networks work. Anyways, so you might be back. So speaking of WTF, Tim O'Reilly stopped by, and he did a new book. He dedicated a bunch of ink to Adafruit, and this is what's the future and why it's up to us. Basically, how automation isn't scary. And we have a 12-minute long interview that we're gonna do because it's that good.
Yeah.
It was neat to film it.
I mean, he's been around. It's interesting, he's been around a long time. So to hear what he has to say about it, because he's kind of watched, robotics and automation and technology for so long. He's just been in it. Like, this has kind of been his job for like 40 years. So hearing what he has to say is a very interesting.
Yeah. So we're gonna play it. It's 12 minutes. Very good interview.
So we have to ask him.
Watch it. Here we go.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, on this lovely evening here in Manhattan at the Adafruit headquarters in Soho. With me is Tim O'Reilly, who's on a book tour, and this is a single spot book tour. You're like just here for me.
That's right.
Which is awesome, and this is your book.
That's right. The book is called WTF, What's the Future and Why It's Up to Us. And it's really about all this fear that people have that technology is going to eliminate jobs. And actually, you're actually part of the conclusion of the book because you're
hopefully the good part.
Yeah, you're one of the people who I say gives me hope about the future of the economy. They say, oh, you couldn't do manufacturing in America. Guess what? You're doing it in Manhattan.
I'm doing it right now. Like, the oven's on.
Yeah, that's right. And you kind of have this amazing story about how you basically amplify your own creativity with all these machines.
Yeah.
It's not that the machines take away work. They make the work possible.
Yeah, what's interesting is, I haven't read your book because I think it just came out, and you're sending me a copy. Thank you.
I am.
One of the things that I thought was interesting is people say, well, you can't do like electronics manufacturing, for example, in New York. But that's actually the one kind of manufacturing I think is most New Yorky because it's small, it's expensive, and it's very automated. So you need very skilled people who are like able to read components and maybe do test procedures. It's not like stamping out metal necessarily, but it's much more automated. You saw the line over there, and it's parts go in, boards come out.
But you also are really showing off how much it's a creative business. You talked about, you get this new machine, it eliminates this, mechanical part of the work, and people get to spend more time doing the smart stuff.
Yeah, we have team members who used to like hand stencil boards, or they like manually place or solder components. And because we now have a selective solder machine or stencil machine, these are machines. This selective solder machine is actually made in California. But those people who are doing those tests are now able to do more high-level tasks like management, work order production, writing iOS apps, writing an education system inside of Adafruit, writing guides and tutorials. So it's taking away people from the labor that honestly people don't really like doing anyways, extremely repetitive labor, and kind of bringing them up to the more fun, brain creative stuff, which is what usually people want to do.
The other thing that's so amazing about you and your operation here is that you give everything away, and yet it seems to make you more successful. And
I know. Who taught me that?
But, that's just such an amazing lesson for the economy as a whole. We have this hoarding mentality. And one of the things, that people are afraid of is that, we're not going to have enough to go around. And you're kind of demonstrating that when you give away your ideas, you actually amplify them. There's more demand for what you do. And it kind of seems like that's the fundamental story of technology, how we make the world better for everyone through generosity. And
you didn't sign the NDA on the way in, huh?
No. No, there are too many places that think that way, and it's crazy.
You can't even go to like a seminar, though. You have to sign NDA. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, so there's sort of some new rules of business and kind of this new economy. I think one of the things that I talk about in the book is, one of the lessons of technology is you have to actually imagine kind of an unthinkable future. And so much of what we wrestle with in the policy discussions of today, we also have to think an unthinkable future. So what if all these technologies are so productive, AI and, this sort of rapid manufacturing, and the machines do more and more of the work? What are we going to do? Well, guess what? We'll figure it out if, in fact, we're generous and we make sure that the fruits of all that productivity get spread around.
Yeah, it says. I remember somebody once said it's I'm from Boston, and the idea that if Boston, if we hadn't outsourced jobs or mechanized job, it's like, well, we would still be making fabric and linen, right? That's what Boston was known for, as a textile industry, but now it's a technology and finance and creative center, and more people are happier than they were in the mills, I think. I mean, we still have some interesting mills with recycled materials, but more people are able to do more. We have more
that's right.
output.
That's exactly right. I mean, the interesting thing is whenever you use technology to do more rather than just cut costs, you cut costs for a reason, so you can do more. And I think Amazon has really demonstrated this. They put 45,000 robots in their warehouses and added 250,000 people because they said, wow, now we can up the ante and do same-day shipping of same-day delivery of a lot of products.
Yeah, we were recently, we just actually did a big stats analysis on getting an auto bagging machine with like a thermal printer. And the reason we did that is we're like, well, we want to get more products in stock faster. And this is something that will help us speed up a lot. And also people are like, I would rather use this machine than bag parts all day. And all that means is we'll be able to make more designs. Like, there's still going to be just as much work. It'll just be more interesting and like lucrative work. And we'll be able to make new products because new business is the business, right? You have to keep going.
You spend more time thinking about what people might want, figuring out how to create wonderful new things, as opposed to just the drudgery of making it. You talked about one of your machines where there's a program spends 6 hours optimizing the placement and then tells the humans where to put the parts.
Yeah, that's it's the job manager for our two pick and place machines. The pick and places have 6 nozzles and 10 nozzles, and then there's like 100 feeder bays. And so, the machine takes time to travel. and you want to minimize that travel time. So my joke is that this is like the ultimate traveling salesman problem, because you have basically, 10,000 points of data, and you have to like optimize the matrix to figure out where do you put the feeders based on the design that you made to minimize the amount of time taken, because every second on the pick and place is a second that it's not doing something else. So, when we run the job splitter that takes this info and tells us what to do, it takes like hours, but then it spits it out, and then otherwise we would have to sit there and like tweak settings for like, I don't even know how, nobody would do it. We would probably just be inefficient and say, well, we give up, we just want to be inefficient. So, kind of neat. Okay, here we're at the machine. So I can talk about some of the machines and the automation that we've done here. So this is a board loader. This spits out boards. We used to hand feed them, but that means every time we need a board, someone would have to get up every 10 seconds or 30 seconds, so they would be stuck here feeding boards. But now they can do like work order management, kitting parts, replacing feeders, so it's much more efficient.
It feeds it right into the pick and place.
It feeds it right into the stenciler. We used to hand stencil. So it's interesting, the stenciler, it's not faster than hand stenciling, but it's much more precise, which means your yields go up, which means there's less rework and repair and waste, because otherwise you just throw away the boards if they don't come out right. But a really good quality stenciler means your yield goes up a lot. So now our yield is at 98, 99%. That's really good because it's less electric waste going into basically dumpsters. And over here we have the two pick and places. So this one has 10 nozzles and this one has 6 nozzles. And yeah, this is the job splitting thing where it tells us where to put these components to optimize the speeds, so that this takes exactly half the time, this takes exactly half the time. So as the first board's going through to the next one, the second one pops in. It has to be like balanced.
So this is the assembly line.
This is a line, yeah, and then the oven. Also, we got a long oven, so the throughput is very high. Right, it takes a while to heat up, but because we run the machine all day, brings up after 20 minutes, it heats up, and then boards can come in as quickly as you want, as long as it's as fast as the conveyor belt. It's pretty cool. So, some of the things we've done.
This is the kind of the automation in service of creativity. And anyway, the thing, I guess, just to talk about this, the book is really about why we should not fear technology. What we should fear is the way we're using it wrong. When we use it to replace people instead of using it to empower people to do things that used to be impossible. And that's why I kind of say, what's the future and why it's up to us. And I just feel like we have to choose to make an economy that puts people to work, that does work. This is a great statement by Larry Summers, the economist, where he his refutation of the what they call the efficient market hypothesis, and he said markets aren't efficient. There are idiots. Look around. And my refutation of the idea that that machines will put everybody out of work is like that. There's work to be done. Look around. There's so much needs to be done, and there's so much opportunity for creativity. And what I love about what you have demonstrated over the years, again and again, is how the machines amplify your talents and make it possible for you to do more, and how you're putting hundreds of people to work in an industry that you would never imagine. You guys started on Wall Street, for Christ's sake, in a little apartment. And here you are. You're on 4 floors now here.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Three floors. We have 1 full floor and 2 half floors. 50,000 square feet.
Amazing.
There's a lot of space, and we couldn't have done this without the automation that we put in place. We have the Bantam Tools machine, the 3D printers, the laser cutters, the pick and place. All of these pieces make it possible for us to do it here. It's not a question of, if we get this machine or we don't get this machine, this person's out of a job, this is not out of a job. We've never replaced anybody with a machine that they then didn't go on and do something more interesting to them. But we wouldn't be able to do this at all. If this wasn't for automation, we wouldn't be able to do this in New York. But because the automation is so good in electronics, we really figured this out, it's possible for us to focus on guides and videos, interviewing famous authors, hanging out. So it's working out.
I get to interview sort of famous designers.
Sorry. And I want to make a note that we did this bootstrap. So I started out of a dorm room. And then I kind of put kits together in little cups, and I hand soldered things. And then I saved up enough money to buy a small pick and place. And then when we outstripped that, you remember this little metal box? And then after we outstripped that, I saved more and more money. And then we, plunked down for this really nice Samsung machine, and then we were hand stenciling, and then after the revenues got higher, we bought a stenciler, and then we bought an oven, and then we bought another pick and place. So it's slow and steady, but
I think that's a really important point, you know, and actually I do have a chapter about that too in the book, about this idea that it's all about Silicon Valley investment. And, you know, to me, one of the reasons I've always admired you is that you have built your business from nothing.
I'm stubborn.
I did the same thing. And
yeah, we're stubborn people.
It's possible. It's possible, and we have to actually build a new vision of entrepreneurship that isn't about, well, you need to get lots and lots of capital. And we also need to think about what are the technologies and what are the enablers of more, you know, small businesses like the ones that you and I run.
Yeah. For me, you know, success isn't defined by just the bank account number. It's, do we have good people here who have good jobs, good wages, good benefits, and are we impacting the world in a positive way? For me, that's success.
Totally. And
that's why I can't be in the Bay Area.
and that's why you're actually part of the conclusion of my book here on page 369, the section It's Up to Us. It just talks about exactly what we're talking about now, how, you know, you have built this amazing business. And I talk about other amazing businesses that give me hope for the future.
Yay. Okay, so where can they pick up this book?
Well, it's going to be in stores starting October 10th, and you can pre-order it now.
Okay, sweet. So go to your favorite bookseller and get What's the Future and Why It's Up to Us by Tim O'Reilly. Thank you for visiting, Tim.
Oh, thank you.
A pleasure.
Always fun to see you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so open source hardware. We're an open source hardware company. Big news. Congratulations, Naomi. She has the first open source hardware certification in China.
That's so cool. CN1.
Son of it. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
We have the Metro open source hardware certified.
Yeah.
But we were not the first one in the US.
No.
Like the 42nd. That's what the number was. But congratulations. This is neat because she's a high profile maker and has this cool board. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yep. All right. Learning guides. We have 1,305, Lady Ada.
Yeah, 5 more.
Yeah. Save the Circuit Python one for afterward.
What?
We have the Circuit Python one. You save that for after.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, what do you got this week?
Okay, can you hide me so I can see everything? Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so this week we have
Upload your photo so I can hide you.
Yeah. We have the case for Circuit Playground. That's known Pedro's project this week for 3D Hangouts. You can make all sorts of sized cases for your Circuit Playground or Circuit Playground Express. We made live the ARM-based IoT kit for Cloud IoT Core. This is if you're using the Google Cloud IoT kit to interface with Google Cloud. Check that out. This project will get you started with all that set up. We have a really awesome guide from Tony D on porting an Arduino library to CircuitPython, and we're using an example as we do it live. It's the VL6180X distance sensor. So as he went through and ported this guide, he documented that whole process, which is going to be really useful because as CircuitPython becomes more and more popular, people are going to want to add I2C and SPI devices and add sensors to the capability. And we have Arduino code for it, or other people have Arduino code, but they want to have it in CircuitPython. So this guide shows you how to do that port and do it in a way that makes it maintainable and documented and easy for us to add to our community bundle. So that'll be really useful. So follow that along if you want to add some sensors. We welcome all contributions. Screaming Cauldron. This is a John Park project for this week. So this uses, I'm trying to remember what board it was. It's a Trinket M0 and a sound effects board to make noise. It screams when you put your hand in and it blinks a bunch of LEDs. So it's a common project. People want an interactive candy bowl. If you want something even simpler, we've got the glowing smoky skull, which can be used to hold candy or just to be a creepy skull. It's from Noah and Pedro. You can change the code really easily in CircuitPython to make it any color you like, or you can just make it glowy and rainbowy. So we got a bunch of thematic projects this week for Halloween.
Okay. Big news. The Adafruit Circuit Playground Express mega tutorial. You did it.
This is live, and it's upgrading all the time. We're also updating the Gemma M0 and Trinket M0 guides, so check those out. We're adding example code for, we have make code, how to use it, make code, CircuitPython. We have the example codes for all the different things you might want to do. We're adding, of course, more and more, but you can get started with NeoPixels and buttons and capacitive touch and playing audio clips. We also have a Python playground, and that's where we're sticking some projects to very small, basic projects, but show how to use multiple parts of the circuit playground in Python together. So, you know, capacitive touch to play audio, or, you know, a button that changes a speaker volume or something. So a couple different mini projects there. And we'll be adding more and more to that as we go along. So that'll be a good place to check out. But if you have a Circuit Playground Express, initially we only really released it for MakeCode, but now we're officially supporting Arduino and CircuitPython. Now that we have the, you know, we've stabilized, we have 2.0, I feel very good about it. So follow the guide to quick start, get yourself going with your Circuit Playground Express.
Okay. Next up, some factory footage around Adafruit. So we got a few videos, some have sound, some don't. So we're going to play these. Okay, I like that we show these videos because, like, I think every factory or anyone who makes electronics should do that. It would really get to know your electronics, how it's made. It's a DC jack.
And this is from the Metro M4, actually. Yeah. This is our, we were making the prototypes. These are, we use slots now. But
yeah.
There's just a lot of copper there on that ground plane.
That's nice. Look at that.
Yep.
Boom.
Now it's good.
Yeah. We also got...
Those are the Metro M4.
Yeah, sometimes the videos from a phone come in to the side, but I like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, this is good.
It looks like it's going up.
Zoom.
This is upside down.
Yeah.
Whee!
We make this in space.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the M4s.
Yeah. And this is a selective solder machine. And again, I was like, oh, I should try to tilt the video, but it works fine, just like this too. That's a selective solder machine that solders for us now. It's automation. It's good. Because now we don't have to hand solder it. We can train someone to run the machine to do it.
This is the most fun when you get that new sponge.
Yeah.
New sponge joy. Yeah. Yay.
And this is our time lapse. This is what the pick and place to see outside the window every night. Every morning. Okay, big news. Nimbus is here with some big news. Okay, you've heard of Adafruit.io. It's our Internet of Things service for makers. Dials, knobs, maps. We have an update. But don't worry, one thing's not going to go away. Free I/O is going to stick around. We're going to do this. You get 30-day data points per minute, 30 days of data stored, 10 feeds, 5 dashboards. But what if you want more? Yeah, we got something for you. And this is our big announcement. I/O Plus is here. You're probably saying, how much? What do I do? Where do I go? Well, just log in and you'll see the link to do this. Upgrade to I/O Plus. $10. 60 data points per minute. 10 days of data storage. Unlimited feeds, unlimited dashboards. $10 off each month for 3 months. Enter your payment information. Now, because I was part of the beta. I was in the beta. So I got a discount. Some screenshots. You'll see lots of projects.
Yeah.
Lots of guides. And more. Other pricing information? Blog post. More information? Blog post. it's a little bit of a tour. So expect a lot of Adafruit IO Plus, and don't forget, regular old IO free is still free. But a lot of people are like, I run an entire shrimp farm using IO. Can I do more? It's like, okay. So we wanted to come up with a good price.
You want more than 10 feeds or something? This is a common request. You want more data?
Yeah.
You have it.
So that's here.
And it helps support our development.
Simple policy about how everything works. Very straightforward. You can take your data out at any time. It's your data. Default is set to private and all that stuff. We really thought about it. I started writing up this big thing, and then I chatted with lawyer people, and we eventually got it down to like the fixie bike of like, here's the 8 things in human language.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some 3D printing. This week, Noah and Pedro printing up a lot of stuff this week. Little smoky thing they showed on the show and tell.
That's right.
In this project, we'll show you how to make this glowing skull that spews out smoke. Be sure to check out our learning guide for a full list of parts used to make this project. This easy build uses an Adafruit circuit playground to light up the skull with 10 NeoPixel LEDs. You can pick up this mist maker from your local Halloween shop or online from Amazon. This mini mist maker is basically an ultrasonic humidifier. It uses a ceramic diaphragm to create water droplets by vibrating at ultrasonic frequency. The water droplets then shoot out of the humidifier in the form of cool fog. You only need water, no special liquid, so it's clean and safe for the kids. I picked up this skull for only 10 bucks at Target. It's hollow on the inside, so it's really light and it's actually bigger than a regular human head. The skull is made from pieces that are held together with screws. I was able to remove them using a screwdriver with a long shaft. Then I pulled the pieces apart and separated them from each other. I grabbed the candy bowl and marked a spot on the outside near the bottom. Using a drill bit, I made a small pilot hole and switched to a bigger tool to open it up. You can also use an X-Acto knife to cut through the plastic. The hole needs to be big enough to fit the plunger, so you'll need to do a few test fittings. Insert the wire and push the plunger through the hole. To make sure we don't get any leaks, it's a good idea to add hot glue to give it a watertight seal. Add a bit of water to the candy bowl and check to see if there's any leaks. You want to make sure we don't get any water on the electronics. Mounting putty can be used to secure the humidifier to the bowl, and this will keep it from floating around once in water. Now we can put the pieces back together but leave out the bottom cover. Then add the screws back to tighten it up. It's actually pretty roomy inside. I used a cutoff wheel to make a notch on the bottom of the skull for the power cable to fit through. A bit of hot glue can be used for strain relief. Finally, we can fill up the candy bowl with water from the tap and fully submerge the humidifier. Once we plug in the power, it'll light up and instantly spew out mist, giving a consistent amount of fog, which is pretty awesome. You can optionally 3D print our case to make it easy to light up the entire skull, or use any light source like an LED tea light. I'm impressed with the quality of this prop and really like how easy it was to put together. Using a mister is clean and safe for kids, so it's cool for them to play with, and it's okay if they put their hands inside. I think adding electronics to cheap Halloween props is a lot of fun and a great way to introduce DIY projects to your friends and family. The Circuit Playground has a lot of sensors on board, so you can make it interactive. You can use the onboard microphone to detect audio and light up the NeoPixels. Hey, if you like this project, be sure to check out our Halloween playlist. For more project ideas, subscribe to the Adafruit channel and click that bell icon to join our notification squad.
Time lapse.
More skulls.
Fancy skull. And don't forget 3D Hangouts every Wednesday with Noah and Pedro. One quick note, Raspberry Pi stuff. Kudos to everyone in the Maker community who took care of that crack thing right away. There's already a Raspbian that takes care of this. Microchip had a patch. Espressive was the first. Wicked, nothing. And Pi, they did it.
Yep.
So, good work.
Fast moving.
Yeah. So, it's like a big problem.
Yep.
Apparently.
Well, you can patch it on most of your IoT and desktop devices, and of course, operating systems will have either patched it already or will patch very soon.
Yeah. Chris Rang emailed me and he said our notice about all this came out before Symantec did.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Like hot off the press.
Yep.
All right, Lady Ada. Well, it's about that time, so before we get going, the Code is Code community, in celebration of some of these cute little ads that we're going to be running soon. Yay! Code Plus Community Circuit Python. So use that 10% off in Native Store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. tonight. Hit it.
New.
Okay. This week in the store.
Okay. Got a 6-pack of alligator clip to header jumpers. These are pretty handy. We already had them in a 12-pack. They're a little bit more expensive than plain alligator clip cables because you have to get this custom cable made. But they're very handy. Look, you can easily plug it into your DHT sensor, your breadboard. It's really good for connecting to gemmas or things with random wires, and then you plug it into a breadboard very easily. So this is pretty much it. You get one of each color. You get 6. Very handy. I use these all the time.
Put them over there.
Yeah, you can see that.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can see they're very easy to open. They're not too slippery. And then you can grab things, all sorts of different colors, and then plug the other side into a breadboard. Very nice. It's premium, high quality.
Next up. It's here.
It's an update to the Metro Classic. This is the Atmega 328 Metro, which is the most popular one we have so far. We also have the Metro M0 Express, but this one is Arduino IDE compatible, and basically works just like a classic Arduino, so people really like it. You can also program in AVR GCC directly if you like, and we just updated this to now come with through-hole headers, which will make some people happy. It's a little more stable, but now that we have the selective solder machine, it's easy for us to do. So it comes through hole. I can just show that off really fast.
Yeah, well, what I'll also do too is these nice photos of it.
Yeah.
All aboard.
Plug in shields. You can see in the bottom, it's now through hole. Lovely bumpers. So this is it. So yeah, it now comes with nice strong through hole headers with these big oval pads. And we'll make another revision and make this through hole. I kind of forgot to do that, but we'll do that for now. This is a nice upgrade for people. So either with or without headers, both are available, but this is nice and strong.
All right.
Strong. Metro.
Star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, is this.
It's the INA 219 Featherwing. So this is a very popular high side current and voltage sensor. Very useful for if you want to do power measurements with a device. So now we have this in feather form factor. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so there's a lot of prototyping area. But that can be handy if you want to, set up your wiring for your project.
2018, Year of the Wing.
Year of the Wing.
Calling
so I have a little demo that I can show off. Hold on. So I have just a Feather M0 Express, but any Feather can be used, and I have an OLED wing, and then this is connected up to a whole mess load of NeoPixels over here. And then I'll plug this in, because right now it's saying, there's no power and no current. But when I plug this in, it tells you the voltage, so 4.1 volts, and it's drawing 1.4 amps. This is actually drawing quite a bit of current. And then when it goes into this mode, you can see it goes down to 300 milliamps or 700 milliamps, so a lot less. So like this, you can see when you're using this NeoPixel code, for example, how much current you're drawing in real time. You can display it on OLED, of course, whatever code you like. And it's pretty easy. Just make sure that this terminal block is in between, your power supplies. This is the power supply. It goes through the terminal block and to the NeoPixels. And that way it can use I2C to measure the current draw and then display it however you like. So it works with all the feathers. So if no matter which feather you have, you can use this because it's only I2C, but it's very handy for adding power measurements.
Okay. So, new product recap.
Yep.
Here we go. New this week. We got...
New this week. We've got a 6-pack of alligator clip to male headers, which are really handy for, say, your circuit playground to a breadboard or sensors to a breadboard. We also have an update to the Metro. The Metro 328 now comes with headers. Wow, they're through hole. It's a little stronger, works just like it did before. You won't notice a difference. It's just better. Selective soldered.
Just better.
Very nice.
And
we have the INA 219 Featherwing. This is a high side current and voltage sensor. Allows you to do power measurements very easily with your feather project. Works on any feather, and it uses only I2C, so you can stack it with any other Featherwing and no risk of conflict. Great for power measurements.
Those are the new products. Good work, Lady Ada. Okay. Don't forget, the Code is Code community all the way up till 11:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Lady Ada, let's show some top secret.
Okay. Gotta get my NeoPixels out of the way here. Hold on.
It's not out yet, don't ask, but we're going to show you some stuff. If you were in Discord earlier in the week, you already would have saw it. So what are you showing?
This is the Metro M4. So you can see, it's basically the same silkscreen, but just added M4. And this is the SAMD51J. So it's actually even a bigger chip than the G. This one, I think, has 512K of flash and 192K of RAM. Lots of RAM, and we have started to get it working with Circuit Python. We already have it working with Arduino, and mostly it works just fine. So we're heading on that. And then we've got these little mini NeoPixels. I'm experimenting with little alligator clip friendly NeoPixels. So these are, they've got bigger holes in them, so they're easier to connect up if you want to do that and make NeoPixel projects that are sewable, but they're a little bigger. But maybe that's okay. So I made 2 versions, a cloverleaf and round. I haven't decided which one I like more. They're both pretty cool.
Okay. Back in the vault. Back in the vault. Okay. Let's do some questions. Post them up in Discord. It's the only place we're answering questions right now. So, here we go. Someone said they should be Gator Pixels. That's a neat idea.
Gator Pixels, yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to call them. I mean, theoretically, the Flora NeoPixels we have now are version 2, so this could be version 3, but yeah.
Okay.
Clippy Pixels.
Arduino high side switching for automotive use. I was looking at the P-channel MOSFET, but wondering if you had recommendations or advice for using purpose-made devices like SD microelectronics automotive high slide switches.
The all-in-ones just, they kind of handle, because you need to have a voltage that's as high as the PFET. So if you're doing really high voltages, it does make it a little easier. Oftentimes they'll have protection diodes and reverse polarity protection in them. So it kind of depends on how much effort you want to put in. A PFET will work just fine. But again, you might have to have something that gives you that voltage level shifter for your signal to make it high as well. So that's the trade-off.
Any news on the Metro for pricing? It's not out yet.
No, it's not out. This is all I got. I just have one.
Give us some Radio Fruit news. Well, Internet sleuths could probably figure out some Radio Fruit news if you look on certain places where trademarks are registered. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Radio Fruit.
Yeah. Next up, another name suggestion for the Pixels. Pixel kisses and hugs. X's and O's.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, that's neat. Kisses?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Pixel kiss.
You have a good idea. Yeah, it'd be XO. XOXOXO. Pixel kisses.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, is there some place that 3D models are available for various boards to use in design programs like Fusion 360?
We don't automatically generate 3D models. However, I know that the latest version of EagleCAD does, I think, have some sort of 3D export. So you can try that, but it's not going to have all the components. It'll just be the PCB. So this is the thing. It's a lot more challenging to get all the heights of everything. And we just don't have that at this time for our products.
Okay. Let's see if I got any other questions here. QLEDs. Everybody likes this stuff. Oh, can you just say the difference between the Metro and Arduino? Like an Arduino Uno and a Metro.
Yeah, the Arduino Uno is an official Uno. So when you purchase it, that money goes to the Arduino Foundation, or the Arduino company, which helps support Arduino IDE. The Metro is designed for more hacker-friendly applications because I made some changes to make it a little lower cost and also a little bit more hacker-friendly. You can change the I/O voltage from 5 to 3 volts, which can be useful if you're interfacing with 3-volt logic. There's an on-off switch. I put the LEDs on the edge. It uses a different USB serial converter, which has pros and cons. It's less expensive than using a separate microcontroller, but then you can't reprogram it to do like funky things like HID. So there's plus and minuses to both. I like the Metro just because it's more hackable, and I often have to change I/O voltages, and I like having all the LEDs on the edge, as well as an on-off switch. So like for our testers, that's kind of why I designed it. And some people like it as well, but you can't go wrong with an Uno Classic.
Okay. Someone said, let's see, I have 2 I2C chips, different addresses, also need level shifting. Can I use a logic level shifting circuitry for both devices?
Yeah, you can put both of them on the other side of the logic level shifter. They don't have to each have their own shifter if it's possible for you to connect, SDA and SDL together, because it's a shared bus. So yeah, just have the level shifting before each device and then put them together and you should be fine, as long as they can handle 3 volts, together, or 1.8 volts, whatever you're using.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone wants the lunchbox to be sold separately. That's interesting. Well, right now we put electronics in the lunchbox. I don't have one with me here. The Adafruit lunchbox.
Yeah.
With Adabot. Yeah, I'll see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Ideas.
That is the questions for tonight, Lady Ada.
Yay!
Good work. Okay. Well, if you want to continue this party, don't forget, you can ask all the questions about anything in Discord. There's a lot of community helpers there. We're going to be giving away these stickers soon, too, for free. And then for community helpers, get the special Adabot one. Yay. Code, don't forget, is this. Want to give something away tonight?
Yeah, we're going to give away a Metro with headers.
Yay.
Wow.
Okay, so what are the rules, Lady Ada?
Rules are you can't win if you've already won. Only one winner per my lifetime. And the first person to call the phone number when we put it up and answer the 3 magical questions wins the prize. The only questions you have to answer are what's your name and where you're calling from and what's the project you want to work on. So the first person who can answer those 3 questions without hanging up on me wins the prize.
You'd be surprised how hard that is.
Then that's not easy.
Okay.
So when the phone number comes up,
The phones
here, there it is.
are open.
Call this number.
Oh, they're going to be open in a second. The phone line's open. Let's see who calls. I always get scared every week no one's going to call, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. See?
Okay.
You ready? Okay. 2 rings.
Okay, go.
Hello, you reached Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, and you're the winner. Hello? Hello, you've called the Ask Engineer desk, and you're the winner.
I can't hear it. I hear it, yeah.
I am from Maryland.
Okay. Hi, Evan from Maryland. What's a project you're going to be working on?
There you go.
I am working on, want to build my own CNC machine.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I've got a prize for you. You're going to get a free Metro 328, and that's going to be handy. Maybe you can use that on your CNC build. And it sounds like a cool project. Come on the show and tell once you've got it built up.
I will.
Okay, awesome. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com and say, hey, I'm Evan from Maryland, and I won the 2488, and they'll send it to you immediately.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, have a great night, Evan.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
That easy.
That's what easy was.
Thanks for answering the questions, Evan.
Yeah.
And you even have to ask him. He was, whoa. Hey, no.
You can't get that.
Nope.
Because we already did the prize.
We already did the prize.
I think someone's like, yeah, the prize is already given.
I only
right.
have one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
This is
was the giveaway.
Make sure we send them one of these, not the M4. Otherwise, I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Whoops. That'd be a pleasant surprise.
That'd be pleasant, but
Hey,
complicated.
yeah, it doesn't work yet. Okay. Well, if you didn't win, you could still win on checkout. And don't forget, we got the free deals going on. You want this?
Yep.
For all shipping with
99 or
CircuitPy.
more, promo proto, 150 or more trinket, 200 or more free shipping, 250 or more Gemma, and 300 or more Circuit Playground Express. And at each level, you get everything you would have gotten before, so it's cumulative.
Okay. Well, that's our show for tonight, Lady Ada.
Hugs and kisses.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody in the Discord chat, the entire Adafruit community out there, all the folks who lended a hand and tried to get your Facebook account back today. That was
Thanks.
nice.
Hopefully it's still up when I get back to my computer.
Yeah, been going on for a bit, and you wanted to do specific things, so thank you, everyone who chipped in. And yeah, anyways, giant companies, Google, Facebook, all of them. It's getting difficult to to live in this social media age. That's why I really like Discord, because it's our server, and they don't run it. We run it.
Yeah.
And like we always know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're always welcome there.
Yay.
So I like that.
And everyone else is welcome too. Join up.
Yeah. So
It's our own social media.
It's like
just for us.
The 24/7 hackerspace you can bring your granddaughter to.
That's right.
That is the quote. Okay. Well, that's it for us for the week. Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody. We'll see everyone next week. Here's a picture of Mosfet the cat. And here is your moment of Zener. Hey, everybody.
Bye. Good night.